non-German Riesling. Listening to way too much trap music lately.
Oh, good. You're all warmed up. You ready for Saturday, right?
Saturdays, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But listen, we'll talk about it afterwards.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Hey Internet, I'm Chaz.
And I'm Dan. Welcome to Wine is Serious Business, episode 256. Back on the search for the Great American Riesling. Today we got three that I know very little about. I've tried one of these before, but it was in a big festival environment. I didn't really have a chance to think about it, so I saw these three on a shelf at Storyteller. I'm like, man, he's got a show sitting right on the shelf.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
I've only heard of the James Rahn before.
Yep.
Have not heard of either of the two.
And I've heard of this, but not tried it, and this one was brand new to me. We're going to start there. So this is the Pressing Plant 2011 Dry Riesling. We've been drinking some stuff before, so we'll do the little rinse first.
Yeah. Get our palates acclimated for little other Riesling. So.
Yeah, she puts a song on the back of all of them. This one is I Am the Cosmos. Chaz and I were talking. We don't know what that song is. I'm sure some of you watching this show will, and will be embarrassed at us for not knowing what this is. But I think it's more amusing that we don't. Vineyard source on here, Willamette Valley, 46 cases, real tiny.
Yeah, I mean that's a very small run. Tiny. It's like what, 2 barrels? It about equals out to something like that. I think
one.
One barrel? Oh, 1 barrel's like 25 cases.
Oh, I think you're right. Yep.
Yeah. So roughly like it would be like 2 barrels, but this is probably like a tank or something.
Maybe we're wrong there too. I'm sure you will let us know if we are.
Yeah. People watch the show that like wine. If you know this stuff, tell us. Please post comments. We appreciate them. So
I think everybody that watches this knows more than we do.
Well, that's part of what makes this fun, right?
Yeah.
Always learning. So. Just like pears and sort of green apples aromas.
Yeah.
There's a little hint of like something sort of honeyed, maybe
a little banana, I think there.
Okay.
Like
yeah. Maybe a touch of something floral too.
Yeah.
But the dominant aromas to me are just like kind of green apples. So.
Kind of round on the palate.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly round. I think there's a little bit of mallow happened here.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Yeah, and I think we've tasted that before. It goes all right with the fruit. There's still plenty of acidity. It's nice and crisp.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of caught me off guard a little bit initially. Let me taste it and try to examine what the fruit flavors are like.
Yeah, golden apples, nice apple flavors. I think all the way across, like good fresh like apples at kind of like the peak of ripeness where they're, they're crisp, really pure. Good fruit flavor to it. A little bit of the skin, a little touch of tannin on the back end, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, the apples definitely stick most forward in the palate. It has like ripe honeydew melon all over
Definitely.
it.
Oh yeah.
Like the green melon. That's really nice. Like I really kind of like that. There's a sharpness to the acidity on the finish. It's a little bit distracting, and that malolactic is what, if there is some mallow in this.
That, or
there's
maybe
something.
like
there's something going on with the body and like the way that the flavors come across, where it like just caught me off guard.
Maybe it was like neutral oak that wasn't all the way neutral. Like there's like some roundness to it in there.
Yeah. Sorry for that dead spot in the initial talking about this, but yeah, it's sort of this is not a normal Riesling. Right, it's kind of got this like sort of roundness and sort of a burst of honeydew, like sort of fresh melon flavor in the center that is not typical for these style of wines. Yeah, this is cool though.
But I feel like it works well, and I agree with where you were going earlier that I think without it, the apple flavors would be a little too like dry and austere. Right. It'd be a little tough on the palate.
And some of these are just like that, right? Like, there's just apples and like acid and just bam.
Or like little apple flavored sandpaper or something like that.
Right.
Late and this, that little bit of richness definitely backs it off. Yeah, sticks around.
For those who don't know, I mean, the majority of people who watch the show know this, but for those who don't, malolactic's not a common thing in Riesling, right?
Right.
They stop the fermentation before it goes through malolactic because the malolactic is what kind of gives Chardonnay its like richness and so they stop it before that happens. And there's been kind of what was the Ovum wines?
Yeah, I think there was an Ovum Riesling that had that we think had a little bit on it.
Went through partial malolactic, and it had the same sort of thing. It had this like weird roundness, and we call it weird only because it's just not what we're used to. So.
In Riesling, right? Like that.
I kind of like this.
Yeah, I do too. It's it's a little unusual, but the flavors are pure and enjoyable, and I think it all works well together.
It's got to be partial mallow because it smells almost like it.
Yeah, a little butter, right?
Yeah, you can smell that. You can smell it on the nose. 85, 86 points for me.
Yeah,
I think it's a cool wine, and I would happily drink it again.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, so like keep in mind, like we said, it's not going to be a textbook Riesling, but it's an enjoyable Riesling. 85 plus for me too. Yeah, nice stuff. On to the James Rahn Riesling. Did this have a designate too? And a Vineyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One we like.
Dundee Hills, Oregon. I hear a lot of talk about this. A lot of other Riesling lovers in the Portland area are like, if you tried the James Rahn stuff, you really should check it out. It's pretty awesome.
I want to say I had it at a storyteller event or something like that, or I mean I haven't even tasted this before.
I tried it at the Riesling Invasion last year.
Oh, that's probably where I had it. Yeah.
You know, a big group of things, and
yeah, it's just you just smash through it, so it's hard to like. This has got a ton of information on the label, which I love. So 9% alcohol. It says 6 neutral oak barrels, so I'm guessing that's where they either fermented or aged it.
Yeah.
And then it's got some residual sugar. So.
Cool.
So the Anna Vineyard, we've had really good Pinot Noir from there before. I respect that vineyard for that wine in particular.
Yeah.
Grape in particular. So.
And I don't know if I don't have an association with Riesling from it, so I'm excited to check this out.
What does it smell like?
A little more subtle on the nose, I think. There's not a whole lot going on the nose here. A little bit of apples, I think, but
it smells almost like sea spray or something.
A little bit like white
saline
flour
or something.
Oh.
I don't know. It's got a really. It's not immediately like fruity, right? Like this smelled like fruit and apples, and this is a step back. So maybe it's partially the vintage. Maybe it's partially the vintage, or because this was a 2011, and we're going to get stepping into 2013 at this point. Sometimes Riesling can be a little awkward when it's really young. That's one thing I know for certain. So the nose is just a little muted. Huh.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, it's juicy.
It's juicy, and I think there's a good sense of complexity to the fruit in the front and middle palate. It kind of reminds me of some of the stuff Teutonic Wine Company makes.
Yeah.
I actually feel like maybe there was 13. That would make sense if I told you there was a touch of botrytis on the fruit in 2013. Nobody would argue with me, right?
I was about to say that it sort of tastes like truffles.
Sure.
Like it tastes like a little bit mushroomy or something, but. Maybe that's the botrytis. I don't know. Like, it's like on the finish, right as you swallow it, there's like this and maybe that's the botrytis.
Yeah, we'll see. So my guess is that there's a little bit of that in there.
2013 it was a botrytis year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And honestly, I think if I was picking Riesling, I like the flavor of botrytis. I probably would have left some in.
Absolutely.
But you get kind of, I think, pretty good pure fruits on the front, and then a little bit of that spicy complexity comes in on the mid palate.
Yeah.
The acidity's got a good sense of balance to it all the way through. Like, plenty of acidity. It stays crisp, stays bright.
It's got youthful red apples, almost like sort of Fuji, meaning like Fuji apples. There's like a little bit of burst of like sort of the cuties, what are the Satsuma oranges, sort of that sort of acidity, bringing in a touch of sourness on the finish. And there's that little it reminds me of these almonds, honestly. Cool. Like this weird sort of not dried truffle, but like still wet truffle thing. Just a touch of it in the finish. And the acidity hangs on a long time. Nice.
Yeah.
Overall, this is kind of, I find it very interesting.
Yeah.
I think some people might struggle with it based on the way that the way that the flavors come across in the finish, but I find it really kind of really interesting.
You know, I think you're right. I think if you're used to like the bright, fresh, fruity, like the bright, fresh, fruity Rieslings,
this is not that.
Yeah, this is a little more complex and a little bit of those like spicy, earthy characters.
Yep.
But if you're on the wine nerd side of things, I'd say you really got to check this out because there's some interesting things going on. It's really pleasurable, refreshing to drink, and interesting. There's not really.
Excuse me.
I'm like kind of like digging around for like a sense of depth to it or whatever that would really take it over the top.
Which would push it up into.
But as a pretty new producer, it's pretty impressive. I'll go. Yeah, I'll go 89 points on it. Actually, yeah. I feel good about this. I'm definitely excited about trying more of his Rieslings in the future, and yeah, and I think it's fun. I'd say if you see it around, check it out. You'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy drinking a bottle.
It's true. I think it's a very interesting wine. Not immediately crowd pleasing. It's a little more austere.
Yeah.
But just like Dan said, there's more complexity here. There's good complexity here. It's a really enjoyable wine. It's really fun to drink. 87 points for me. I'm not as huge about it.
Sure.
There's just that weird earthy transition in the finish is a little bit distracting to me.
The fruit kind of disappears late.
It's just a little distracting to me. So.
So yeah, it definitely is a little more on the nerdy appreciation side, but the fruit flavors up front are really solid. It's good stuff going on.
All right, so this last wine's got a label that's very distinct.
Yeah.
Looks like so it says Clara Estelle.
Yep.
And this is by Jasper Sisco. Cherry Grove Vineyard, Willamette Valley. So.
Who I've heard stuff about. I've heard I need to try this wine. I have not tried this wine, so I was excited to see that on the shelf and be able to pick it up.
Big pours.
Sure.
It's Friday tomorrow, right? So.
Low alcohol Riesling, yeah.
Yeah, Riesling. It's low alcohol.
Yeah.
You can drink it and go do your taxes or.
Go work, right?
Go to work.
Yeah.
Just go to work or play video games or
Yeah.
go to sleep. Those things. Anything is. Life is better when you drink Riesling.
Yeah,
So,
that's the truth.
that is the truth. Man, another nose that's just kind of muted. Are you getting a lot of this out of this?
Not a lot. I'm getting more like streams and like kind of minerality
Well, I can see that.
and like.
Sort of smells like a river.
And then like a weird like dark like grapefruit zest or something like that, like a dark citrus peel or something. A little heavy, yeah.
It smells like that with sort of like a little bit of apple, you know, but it
Little
smells
bruise maybe,
touch,
yeah.
a little touch oxidized. Like
I'm glad now that this is coming
brown
out. I think
apple.
both of us were like, "Is this corked?" No.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's actually the first.
Yeah, it's like, is it corked? Like, I don't think
Thank
so.
you.
It's like but it's something like the darker, edging towards the little more funky side of the flavors. Yeah.
Yeah, and if the winemaker ever sees this, if this is not the way the wine's supposed to be, and it is partially corked,
Please
tell us we're dummies,
Yeah.
and we'll omit this. But yeah, it doesn't smell corked. It's just kind of dark and like a little oxidized and. So again, sort of like Fuji apple-y, right?
Yes.
But
a little edging towards overripe, right?
yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's definitely a ripe. It has ripe fruit. I wouldn't call it overripe, honestly. I think it's fine.
Okay.
But there's like that minerality again. It sort of tastes like I'm sucking on like a river, like a piece of river rock or something. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like it's a strange flavor that I don't get in Rieslings very often.
Yeah, I'm getting like a bite of apple, like kind of some dark honey. Yeah, and then just like this. Yeah,
I would call it
mineral.
I would call it minerality.
Yeah,
because that's what it sort of seems like to me. But it's different. So
a little white floral thing on the palate, which is something that I'm not used to experiencing either. But it's kind of pleasant in contrast with the apple flavors. and definitely like a brighter flavor. That's a good contrast with like that darker minerality, kind of like heavier fruit flavors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a lot of acid. Like as you take more sips of this, like the acid definitely clings to the side of the palate. It's like all over my mouth right now. Wow, it's actually a little touch overwhelming if you take a lot of small sips. Good, but yeah, different. Well, these are all three of these wines are extremely different.
Very different wines.
Yeah. I don't know if this.
I don't know if it's right or not. Yeah,
I don't know if it's right
I can't stand by it. So
it's not my favorite.
Yeah.
To be honest, I mean.
So with that in mind, I'm not going to score it. So I'm going to make the assumption that something's amiss here.
If I was going to score it, it'd be like 80 points.
Sure.
Like it has characteristics I like about it.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like there's something off to this. I mean, like
yeah.
Like it's sort of it tastes a bit like old, like when you said it, like chop an apple.
Yeah.
And you don't get to like the last couple slices, and you come back to it.
There's
That's
something
sort of,
like that going on. Yeah. So I'm not sure. I like it a little more, but there's some flavors in there. But I think we're going to say that this is probably not a representative review of this wine.
Yeah. Wonder if it is lightly corked.
Yeah. We'll see. If anybody that's watched this has tasted it before, please put a comment in. Like, say what your experience is. Yeah. If it's in line or not, because I'd like to know. Yeah. So ending it on kind of a weird. Not as straightforward, but the first two were interesting.
Yeah. Actually, of the three, I really liked this wine. I mean, even though I scored this one just a touch higher, I would happily drink more of that. Yeah. I like both of these wines, but
yep.
Yeah, delicious. Anyway, so that's our show for today.
Yep.
Question? Did you have one?
Didn't have a question.
Okay, I got one.
Good.
So I've been excited about buying wine. The 2013 German wines are all starting to hit the market. So I've been snapping up a couple cabinets here and there because we were in Germany and got to drink a lot of those. The cabinets are all wonderful. And a lot of stuff's been hitting the market, the high-end 12s, a lot of the early 13s. What have you been excited to buy, and what have you purchased recently?
Great, I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, what, you? Anything?
No, I think you've been looking at emails that I haven't. So, so we need to talk after this is over.
Right.
But thanks for watching.
Yeah, we'll see you for the next show.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See you.